Hello dear students, welcome to civics class. Today we are going to learn civics chapter number 4 fundamental rights part 1. There are two lessons relating to fundamental rights. In this session we are going to study fundamental rights part 1. What is meant by fundamental right? We have certain rights as the citizen of India, or we have certain rights as the part of our society, and nobody can deny us from enjoying these all right. You are students, and it is your right to get primary education. Nobody can deny you from studying, from getting this primary education. No school, no parents, no government can deny you. This is your right, that you should get primary education. Or if your parents are working in any establishment, any factory, any offices, they should get minimum wages. That is their right. Get minimum wages, that is their right. So in this way, we have certain right. As a citizen of India, we have the right to move anywhere in India without anybody's consent. So that is our right. So this type of rights are enjoyed by citizens, and the government and the constitution is guaranteed these rights to citizens. It is the responsibility of the government to protect these rights, and it is the responsibility of the government to ensure whether the citizens are enjoying their rights or not. So these are all are included in fundamental rights. Now we will move to our lesson. Can you see these two students are standing here carrying a placard? What it is written on that placard? Education is our right. Because they are students, they are children, they should get compulsory education. They should get primary education. That is their right. Nobody can deny them. Any school, government, parents, or any teachers, nobody can deny them from studying. So it is their right. It is the right to all children to get primary education. Then what is the next to people carrying placard? We must get assurance of a minimum wage. It is our right. They are workers, or they are working in any factory. So what is their demand? We must get the assurance of minimum wage. It is our right. That means if we are working in any factory or establishment, we should get minimum wages, or government or society should assure that we are getting minimum wages. It is their right to get minimum wage if they are working in any factory or establishment. What is the next picture? See these two ladies. They are Adivasi people living near forest areas. What is their demand? We have a right over our forest and its resources. As they are living near the forest areas, they have the right to collect forest resources. Nobody can deny them. That is their main occupation, and collecting forest resources is their livelihood. So they have to get assurance, or they have the right over the forest products and its resources. That is their right. So in this way, certain people have certain rights, and this is the duty of the government to ensure whether the citizens are enjoying their right or not, and it is a duty of the government to protect citizens' right. We will study detail in this lesson. You must have seen such placards in newspaper and elsewhere. In a rally or a march, sometimes a certain demand is made, asserting it to be their right. You must have seen this type of vision in any rallies or march. People are carrying their placard and demanding for some right. We get a right at birth. Every newborn baby has the right to live. Nobody can take their life. Each and every newborn baby has the right to live. The entire society and government takes effort to ensure that baby is in the best health. It is the duty of the government, society, and other people. Even parents are having the responsibility to take care of the child and ensure the baby is in best of his or her health. Only when all individuals get protection from injustice, exploitation, discrimination, and deprivation, they will be able to develop their skills and qualities. That means we can develop our skills and qualities only when government protect us, or only when we are free from all type of injustice, we are free from all type of exploitation. There should not be any discrimination, there should not be any suppression from any part. Then only we can develop our skills and qualities. That means in the society there should not be any injustice, exploitation, discrimination, or deprivation. Deprivation means suppression. Then we will be able to develop our skills and qualities. That means society should be very neat and clear. That means there should not be any injustice, any bad practices should not be there in the society. Then only we are able to develop our skills and qualities. Demanding one's right is insisting on creating an atmosphere conducive to the development of the self as well as the entire society. Demanding one's right, or if we are demanding for our own right, that means creating an conducive atmosphere, creating a favorable atmosphere to the development of the self as well as the entire society. Demanding for one's right means creating favorable atmosphere to the atmosphere to develop self as well as for the entire society. Indian Constitution has guaranteed equal right to all citizens in order to create this conducive atmosphere. In the Constitution, all rights are clearly written. That means Indian Constitution is giving guarantee for all citizens of India to live their life in the society without any difficulties. Or Indian Constitution is always ensuring that the government is creating a favorable atmosphere for all citizens to live their life in the society, or enjoy their freedom in the society, enjoy their right in the society. So it is the duty of the government to protect people's right, because it is already written in the Indian Constitution. That means Indian Constitution has guaranteed rights to all citizens and create a favorable atmosphere. That is the duty of the government. And society should be free from all type of injustice, exploitation, discrimination, and deprivation. Then only we will be able to develop our skills and qualities. And if we are demanding for a right means, if we demand for our own right, that means we are creating, our government is creating a favorable atmosphere for all citizens to live their life, enjoy their right in the society. These rights are called fundamental rights. That what is meant by fundamental rights? Some of the rights are guaranteed by the Indian Constitution, that is known as fundamental rights. They are included in the Constitution. They have the status of law. It is imperative for everybody to abide this right. It is already included in the Constitution. That is why it has a law status. That means it is a law. Nobody can deny us. It is a law because it is already written in the Constitution. Fundamental rights are already written in the Constitution. That's why it is a law. And it is imperative, means it is compulsory for everybody to obey these rights. Now we will study our rights as mentioned in the Constitution. What are the rights mentioned in the Constitution? Let us understand the right of Indian citizens included in the Constitution. First one, right to equality. According to the right to equality, the state cannot discriminate among citizens as superior, inferior, or as men, women, and cannot give different treatment or privileges to anybody. Right to equality means considering everyone equally, without any superior, inferior, discrimination, don't consider anyone is men or women, and don't consider the rich or poor. In this way, there should not be any discrimination, any differentiation among citizens. That is known as right to equality. In the society, all people are equal. Even Prime Minister or a common man, all are equal before the law. All are having equal status in the society. Whether it is a rich or poor man, whether it is men or women, whether it is a very superior person or inferior person, all people are equal before the law. That is called equality, right to equality. The same law applies equally to all. Many laws give us protection. For our protection, many laws are there in our constitution. Many rules and laws are there in our constitution, or government is following many rules and laws for protecting the citizens. For example, we have protection from arrest without any warrant, without any prior information, or without any warrant. No police force or no one can arrest us. Also, the state cannot discriminate while extending such protection. If the government is protecting us, they cannot show any discrimination. Government has the duty to protect even Prime Minister or the common man. And we cannot be arrested without any warrant, without any prior information. If the police force is coming to arrest us, before that they should show the reason why we are being arrested. So without any warrant, nobody can arrest us, and in front of law all people are equal, and there should not be any discrimination on the basis of superior, inferior, men, women, or rich, poor, or underprivileged people, privileged people. This type of discrimination should not be there. Before law all people are equal. That is called right to equality. What other things are included in the right to equality? The state cannot discriminate against any citizens on the ground of their religion, caste, race, sex, descent, or place of birth, or residence for the government employment. That means for getting government job, this type of discrimination or discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, race, sex, men, women, gender, their descent, a place of birth, residence should not be considered. These factors should not be considered while giving any government job to any person. Only consider his excellency, his qualification. Should not consider anybody's religion, caste, race, sex, descent, place or birth, or resident, where he is living, where he got birth, whether he is men or women, what caste he belong to, what religion belong to. These factors should not be considered for getting any government job. If any government or if any authority is considering these factors, this will be a punishable offense. The inhuman practice of untouchability that was prevalent in our country has been abolished by law. Untouchability was prevailed in our society. That means lower caste people were not allowed to touch the higher caste people. So even they are not allowed to stand in front of the higher caste people. They were not allowed to mingle with the higher caste people, and they were not allowed to get education along with the higher caste people. This type of untouchability was prevalent in our society, but it was abolished by law. The government has already brought a law to abolish this bad practice from our India, from our society. The practice of untouchability in any form is cognizable offense. Cognizable offense means punishable offense. If anybody is or if any in any region this untouchability is practicing, that should be punishable offense. That will get punishment from court. This practice has been abolished in order to establish equality in the society. Why this untouchability has been abolished? In order to bring equality in the society. That means according to the constitution all people are equal, whether they belong to higher religion or lower religion, higher caste or lower caste, all the people should be equal if they are the citizen of India. So this untouchability was also abolished to eradicate this type of inequality. To establish equality, this untouchability has been abolished by the government by law. The constitution has also abolished titles that create an artificial hierarchy among the people. Superiority, if anyone, many titles were there in India, like Raja, Maharaj, Rao, Bahadur, etc., were existed in India to show their hierarchy, superiority. That type of title also have been abolished by law. Now nobody is called in the name of Raja, Maharaja, Rao Bahadur. This type of titles also have been abolished because in order to bring equality. The constitution prevents the state from conferring titles that nurture inequality and draw wedges in social unity. Some of the titles which are bringing inequality in the society and making differences in social unity that have been prevents by the government. But the state confers some award. State is giving some awards for different contribution to different personalities in their field. They are Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, etc. These awards are given for distinguished contribution in different fields. Some of the personalities have contributed very much for the country, like Sachin Tendulkar got Padma Bhushan Award. Many cricketers, many writers, many authors, many singers, actors, they have given much contribution to the society. Because of them, the fame and name of the country have gone up to abroad or worldwide, so that these people are honored by the government with the title of Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, etc. Because for their distinguished contribution different fields, because of them the name of the fame, the name and fame of our country have grown up. Bharat Ratna is the greatest civilian honor or award for our country. Many personalities have got Bharat Ratna. You collect the name of the people who have got Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, Padma Bhushan, etc. and Bharat Ratna. Bharat Ratna is considered as the greatest civilian award of our country. Civilian award means the award which is getting to common people. If any people is eligible for getting Bharat Ratna, even if the common person, he or she can get the award Bharat Ratna. This Bharat Ratna is considered as the greatest civilian honor or award of a country by considering their contribution in different fields. Medals of honor like Paramveer Chakra, Ashok Chakra, Shaurya Chakra are awarded for remarkable service in the armed forces, which are the honors giving in armed forces for the remarkable service by the soldiers. They are Paramveer Chakra, Ashok Chakra and Shaurya Chakra. Such awards don't bestow any special right or privileges upon those who receive them. It is only the recognition of their contribution, because this is a recognition of their contribution, but they are also the citizen of India. They also have to follow all rules and regulation, and by getting these award, they are not getting any special rights or privileges. They are also considered as a citizen of India. Don't think that if they do any crime that will be accepted. But this type of system is not there. They are also the citizen of India. They are also having a responsibility to obey the rules and regulations, because they are getting these all awards considering their contribution to India. Now another right to liberty. Liberty means what? Freedom. Liberty means freedom. We have the freedom. We have certain freedom in our society that we will study now. This is a very important right given by Constitution. Constitution guarantees right to liberty to the citizens. It gives guarantee to all freedom necessary from the point of view of individual. Individual should get all freedom. That was the main aim of this right to liberty. As the Indian citizen, we have the right to freedom of speech and expression. As the citizen of India, we have certain right to speak publicly whatever we want to say without harming anyone, and we have the freedom to express our opinion. Then next, freedom to assemble peacefully. As a citizen of India, we have the freedom to gather for some purposes, some useful purposes, and freedom to form associations or union. As a citizen of India, we have the freedom to form some associations and union for the betterment of society, and freedom to move freely throughout the territory of India. As a citizen of India, without anybody's consent, we have the freedom to move throughout India. That is our right. If we want to go abroad, we need a passport and other documents, visa, etc. But if we want to move throughout India, we don't need anybody's consent. So these are certain freedoms we have, that is included right to liberty. Another freedom to reside and settle in any part of the territory of India. Without anybody's consent, we have the right to stay and settle in any part of the territory of India. And freedom to practice any lawful profession or to carry on any occupation, trade, or business of one's own choice. We have the freedom to choose our own occupations, maybe business or trade or any profession. We have the right to choose because we are the citizen of India. Nobody can deny us. That is a right to liberty. These are the important freedom included in right to liberty. See this do you know part. Constitution has given many rights, but we have to exercise this responsibly. We should take care that others do not get affected by our behavior. We have the right to express our opinion. We have the freedom to speech. We have the freedom to move anywhere in India. We have the freedom to associate or make union or any association. But we can enjoy those all rights. But we should ensure that it should not get affected anyone. Nobody should be harmed because of our behavior. That should be taken care of. We have the freedom of expression, but we cannot speak or write anything that might incite anybody to violence. We have the freedom of expression and we have the freedom to speak, but we should not write, we should not do anything that will be leading to violence. We should ensure that because of our words or action, there should not be any violence. The right to liberty in the Constitution has guaranteed us freedom of speech and movement, and it has also provided us security to keep us safe. This legal protection has been given to everybody equally. It is not denied to anybody. For example, we all have the right to life. It appears to be simple, but it has a deep significance. It implies getting guarantee to live, availability of a conducive environment for living. These all liberty we have. Constitution has guaranteed all these liberties such as freedom of speech, movement. It is ensuring security in our life. It is these all rights ensuring security in our life, and legal protection is also there, and government is ensuring or government is giving legal protection to everybody to enjoy our freedom equally. All the people are having equal security, equal protection, or government is giving equal protection to all citizens to enjoy their freedom. Nobody can deny to anybody. It is not denied to anybody. Then we all have the right to life. We all have the right to live our life. It appears to be simple, but it has a deep significance. It implies getting guarantee to live, availability of a conducive environment for living. We have the right to live in our society. That's why government is guaranteeing favorable atmosphere. Government is creating favorable atmosphere for the person to live in the society. It is the duty of the government to create favorable atmosphere for each and every citizen to live in their society. That may be simple life, that may be very higher level life, but it is the duty of the government to create favorable atmosphere for each and every citizens to live happily in the society. Nobody can take away another's life. No person can be arrested and detained without any reason. That we have already learned. Without any reason, nobody can be arrested, and we are not having any right to take anybody's life or kill anyone. So that means while enjoying our freedom, we should consider other people as well, and government should take responsibility to protect all the uh, people for enjoying their freedom. The right to liberty now also includes the right to education. All children between 6 and 14 years of age are entitled to get education as their fundamental right. This ensures that no child will be deprived of education. It is the duty of the government, society, and parents to give fundamental education or primary education to all children between the age of 6 and 14. And this is the fundamental right of any child to get compulsory education, compulsory primary education. And because of this right, the government is ensuring that no child will be deprived of education. That means all students are getting education. That is the main aim behind the right to education. What is right to education? According to right to education, all children between 6 and 14 years of age are entitled to get education. This is the fundamental right. This ensures that no child will be deprived of education. Now, a right against exploitation. The right against exploitation implies right to prevent any type of exploitation. Some higher class people or some rich people are exploiting poor people, or in some workplaces people are being exploited by their employer. In or some people are making others to do job but not giving proper money to proper wage to them, salary to them. In this way, in the society, many types of exploitations are going on. So right against exploitation implies the right to prevent, right to stop this type of exploitation. While the Constitution has banned all types of oppression through the right against exploitation, it has made a special provision to prevent exploitation of children. Right against exploitation also include exploitation against children. Nobody can exploit children in any way. You must have seen some children are working in some hotels, doing some job to take care of their family. They are forcing to do some work. Some children even below 14 years of age are working in different factories, different workplaces without getting proper education. This is the duty of the government to protect this type of children. That's why the government banned child labor, prevent exploitation for children. Accordingly, it is prohibited to employ children under 14 years of age in any hazardous place, dangerous place. Children cannot be employed or made to work in factories and mines. No children below 14 years of age are allowed to work in any places, especially in dangerous places like factories, mines, etc. So, right against exploitation specially brought for children to avoid any such exploitation going on against the children. Exploitation includes bonded labor or forcing somebody to work against his or her wish, treating somebody like slave, etc. Exploitation, what are the other matters included in exploitation? Bonded labor. Some people are traditionally working under one master. One person, his children, his children, and the entire family is working under a master. It is They are forced to work under a particular master. This type of working system is called bonded labor. Traditionally, he is being worked under same master, or forcing somebody to work against his or her wish. If anybody is forcing to do something against his own her wish, that is also an exploitation. Treating somebody like slave. If anyone is being treated like a slave and denying them legitimate compensation, if anything happen, For example, in one factory, one person died because there is no safety measures to work. Because this is the mistake of the employer. He had to give protective measures for protecting the life of the workers, but he didn't do such thing. That's why one labor's life is lost. Then he should give compensation to the family. If he doesn't do, that is denying them legitimate compensation. If he is not ready to give compensation, then it will be handled by the government. He will get punishment. Making them to do excessive or strenuous work. If anyone is forcing any workers to do any very dangerous, very hard work, starving them or ill treating them, not giving enough food to eat. Generally, women, children, the weaker section of society are powerless. People are exploited. Women, children, and weaker section of society are very weak people. Traditionally, they are weak people and powerless people. Commonly, they are being exploited. The right enables us to stand up against any kind of exploitation. So, this type of right against exploitation has been guaranteed by the Constitution to stand up against any kind of exploitation. If any person raise their voice against any type of exploitation, that will be accepted because it is already guaranteed by the Constitution. The government is responsible to protect the people. If anybody is exploiting any person or any children or any women or any weaker society, that will be a punishable offense. So right against exploitation is also guaranteed by the Constitution to give protection to the weaker section, especially weaker sections, women, children, and weaker sections of society. Let us discuss. Children are not employed here. Workers are paid daily here. You see such boards in shops and hotels. In what way are they related to the above rights in the Constitution? It is a right against exploitation, correct? That means the shop and the hotels are treating people equally. Children are not employed here means they know about the right against exploitation. Then workers are paid daily here. That means they also know the right against exploitation. Let us discuss. The government has made many laws in order to prevent exploitation and to enable every individual to enjoy their freedom. Some laws have been mentioned below. Find out if there are more such laws and discuss them. Government has already made many laws to avoid any type of exploitation and to enjoy every individual to enjoy their freedom. Minimum Wages Act is there, provided by the government. For what purpose? In this act, provisions of relating to working hours. According to the Minimum Wages Act, the working time is restricted for 8 hours. That means any factory, in any working place, any individual or workers are allowed to work only for 8 hours. If they are working more than 8 hours, they should get double payment. That is the system. Rest hours are also there. That is why every half an hour, 5 minute rest time is there, and lunch time is 1 hour or half an hour lunch time is there, etc. are there in factories. Minimum Wages Act brought for avoiding this type of exploitation. According to this Minimum Wages Act, provisions are there for working hours, rest hours, etc. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, that is also there. That is ensuring exploitation of women in their home. Domestic violence. Domestic violence means violence going on inside the home by the family members. Laws are there for protecting women from this type of violence. This all enable the or this all assures the right against exploitation. Before concluding our lesson, we have to think about it. There are some rights supplementary to right to life. For example, nobody can be punished twice for the same offense. If anyone do the same mistake 2 times, then a separate punishment is not there. Before being punished, the allegations against the person have to be proved. It is the duty of the police force to inquire about the mistake or guilty what he or she has done. So before being punished, the allegations against the person should be proved in the court. Court should prove that the person has done or person is guilty. The police collect evidence against the accused and put up the case in the court. Even if a person accepts that he has committed crime, he is not punished immediately. Sometimes for saving someone else, some people are accepting their mistake or accepting their crime. Then also he will not be punished immediately. Then this is the duty of the police to collect evidence, and it is the duty of the police to prove that he has done crime. The allegations have to be proved legally. This judicial process takes time, but it is necessary so that an innocent person does not get punished. Why it is, even if a person has accepted that he has committed crime, then also the police is inquiring whether he has done the crime or not, because this is a reason why reason is that it is necessary that an innocent person does not get punished. Nobody should be punished without doing any crime. That is the system. Or innocent person should not get punished. That is the reason why the police is before getting punishment, police have to inquire about the case, and police have to prove the person has committed the crime. In this chapter, we studied the right to liberty and equality and the right against exploitation. I hope everyone understood this lesson well. Read the textbook very well. In the next chapter, we shall study some more fundamental rights in the Constitution. Thank you.